Welcome to the TIA's office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We're excited to develop the West African Sub-Region's agricultural sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and offtake support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you a sneak peek into the exciting projects we are working on. Welcome to the TIA's office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We're excited to develop the West African Sub-Region's agricultural sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and offtake support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you a sneak peek into the exciting projects we are working on. Welcome to the TIA's office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We're excited to develop the West African Sub-Region's agricultural sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and offtake support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you...
Hello, a very good morning to you. You are watching AgroRiches TV and this is our breakfast show. Today, we are going to be reviewing all the major top stories making headlines in the agricultural sector. And today, we'll be looking at two stories that are making headlines. The first one has to do with Agritech West Africa Expo that is slated for 19th to 21st March 2024, or that's next month. And the second story, we are going to be looking at reports by sources within the Ghana Cocoa Board, which says that Ghana faces nearly 40% decline in 2023-2024 cocoa output. So before we delve into the stories, we want to acknowledge all our sponsors for today's program. Our first sponsor is TIAS Group. So TIAS is offering agribusiness and investors with 80% financial support. They are also offering their businesses with technical support as well as offtake support. So there's an assured market after your crops are being processed into the processed commodities like cassava, induced cassava starch, and then also rubber as well. We are also being sponsored by KAIS. KAIS is a B2B and an e-commerce platform that connects the African agribusinesses to the Asian market, and you also export businesses or agribusinesses products in Ghana to the Chinese market. So if you want your product to be marketed on the Asian markets, then the TIAS app, the KAIST app, that's CAISTT, is the best app for you. So you go to Google Play Store or the App Store and then download KAIST and then follow the prompts. So I'll be reviewing the top stories with Nama of Orion. She has joined me, but when we go for a short commercial break and we come back, I'll introduce my guests properly and I'll review the top stories. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the TIA's office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We're excited to develop the West African Sub-Region's agricultural sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and offtake support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you a sneak peek into the exciting projects we are working on. to the TIAS office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We're excited to develop the West African Sub-Regions Agriculture Sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and offtake support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you a sneak peek into the exciting projects we are working on.
So welcome back from the short break. My name is Prince Opoku Dugwe, and as you already said, we are going to be reviewing the major top stories making headlines in the agricultural sector. And I have here with me Nanamo for your entry. She is an agricultural journalist with AgroRiches and TIAS Group. Nanama, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
How was the weekend?
It was okay, just tiring. Yours?
It was very fine. We give praise to God. We have life and we are in good health. All right, so we are going to be reviewing two stories. The first one is Ghana to host Agritech West Africa Expo 2024 to spur agri innovation. This is the third edition of the Agritech West Africa exhibition, and it's going to be happening at the Accra International Conference Center alongside Food and Beverage Ghana and Food Park Tech Ghana. So we have three organizers here. That is the Wigvorous. We also have the Food and Beverage Ghana and the Food Park Tech Ghana. And the purpose of this conference is to spur agricultural innovation. So all agribusinesses or companies are into agri innovation, machinery, agro processing, food processing, to exhibit their products at the third edition of the West Africa Agritech West Africa exhibition, as at AICC. And there is under the auspices of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, as well as the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and it has support from the West African Chamber of Agriculture, that's a WACOA. We also have the Crop Life Ghana and then others. The expo will feature nearly 100 companies from various countries, showcasing agrochemicals, agricultural technology, food processing, packaging technologies, and more. International chambers like ASOCAM and CCI France Ghana will have dedicated pavilions. The event expects around 5,000 business and professional visitors, which will facilitate engagement between stakeholders and foster business partnership. We'll also have seminars and conferences which will run for 2 days, and this will provide a platform for stakeholders to discuss innovations and address sector-related issues. So the program director, that's Mr. Thomas James, is really optimistic that this is going to boost agricultural productivity in West Africa. And so this is a good news, and of course TIAS Group is going to exhibit their products at this third edition of the Agritech West Africa. What does this mean for Ghana?
Well, I believe it's a really, really good initiative. Over the years, we've been advocating for more technology and all that in the country. So this is a conference that will be bringing people far and wide into the country to exhibit and all that. So startups can also seize this opportunity to join the exhibition and exhibit what they have to get maybe some partnerships here and there. Yeah.
Okay. You know, we keep organizing conferences and exhibitions. But after these conferences and exhibitions, the partnerships with these institutions are not well solidified. Going forward, what do you think we have to do? Because this is going, we are going to have businesses across the world. India is coming. We have African countries, West African countries are going to come. And we have different types of institutions that are really doing well when it comes to agriculture, machinery, food processing and all that. But we don't solidify it. We only have the conference and the exhibitions, and going forward we relax a little. So what do you have to say to that in relation to rebuilding that partnerships with them?
Okay, I think sometimes it depends on the business and it depends on the advocacy. As we are mentioning here on the news review platform, a lot of our people watching will get to hear about these things. Usually these conferences happen in not much publicity is done. I was able to watch a few excerpts of this is the third edition.
Yeah, the third
I was
edition.
able to watch a few excerpts from the first and second edition, and most of the exhibitors were foreigners: South Africa, India, Kenya, and all over. I
Yeah,
didn't see
UK,
them
yeah.
interview anyone in Ghana, and my question was, what happened? Is it that the Ghanaians didn't come, and it was the international market that really patronized and all that? So one issue why that also happens is because of publicity. Most of these conferences are not publicized to reach the agricultural market here in Ghana.
But would you
So
say
most
we
times they
have a
miss
booming
out.
market when it comes to agricultural technology
Oh,
in Ghana?
when it comes to agricultural technology, we are not there yet, but there has been some starts.
Okay.
We've got some kick-starting that there are some agri-tech companies here in Ghana, but lack of funds and all that segregates them to the background, sort of. They are not out there. And most of these startups we have usually participate in international competitions and all that to get grants and funds for their projects.
Okay.
Yes, so that is why you don't usually see them here, but it all boils down to
Yeah.
publicity. Yes, and also sometimes it also depends on the startups. They may have the ideas and all that, but do you have the paperwork to buttress the startup? Some people have startups, they've started doing something, maybe agri-tech, but the company is not even registered and all that. There's no data, they are not able to tell, or maybe if I invest this percent, this is
You're
the
going to get
percentage of
percent.
equity and
Yeah.
profit you are going
The
to
returns
get.
you're
So
going to
it
get.
also discourages a lot of international investors.
Yeah.
They are very particular with their percentages and their numbers. They don't joke with their numbers. So these are some of the
That's
reasons.
things, yeah.
Yeah.
And you see, this conference is going to be talking about, in a nutshell, we are saying we are going to add value to agriculture. Ghana, when you take a crop like cassava, cassava has a great potential. But when you take a crop like cassava, we don't do much with it. We consume some in the house,
Consumption.
and then the rest is left for post-harvest losses.
Yeah.
We experience a lot of post-harvest loss when it comes to cassava. Maize is good because maize, the storage systems are there. You can store maize for some. You can even grind them into flour and all that. But when it comes to cassava, the post-harvest loss is very high, and Ghana is really doing well when it comes to cassava production alongside with Nigeria. We're one time the one of the world's largest producer of cassava.
Oh, really?
Yes, but this with cassava, cassava starch. What can we be doing to maximize? The benefits that this conference is coming or is bringing along, and even with the cocoa sector and all that.
It also boils down to education. As you mentioned, a lot of countries are doing a lot of things with cassava. It helps in it's used in paint production, ethanol. It's used in the pharmaceutical companies. It's even used as dyes in other countries and all that.
Yeah.
They have immense benefits. There are lots of things we can get from it. I remember Honorable Kennedy Japan once mentioned that cassava is even more important than gold if it's utilized right. But then, do we know about it? No. And even if we do not have the machinery and the technology to transform cassava into these essential things we can export that benefits us. So I'm glad the conference is talking about adding value to agriculture.
Okay.
And you also mentioned that they would hold seminars and all that. So perhaps with these seminars, as international bodies are coming, ideas will be shared and it could propel some of our agricultural companies to take up initiatives that would really add value to agriculture and gain us revenue.
TIAS Group is going to exhibit.
Exactly.
Your company is going to exhibit.
Exactly. I'm really glad.
So tell us, what are you offering?
Oh, there are lots of things they are offering. Agro Riches would also be exhibiting, would be showcasing our newsletters that are the #1 half of agricultural excellence. Let me blow our horns more. So yes, TIAS is into cassava production.
Okay.
They are really into the processing of cassava into starch. Cassava, as we mentioned, aside its benefits, it's really sought after in countries like Japan, Malaysia, and all that because of its pharmaceutical needs.
Yeah.
So TIAS has that ready market available. So what they actually do is that they offer 70 to 80% financial support to individuals who want to own agro processing factories.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can come as a group or you can come as an individual. Yes, and they also give technical support. They offer you all the machinery.
So I mean,
they
it's a full time
exactly. So it's a
you
full,
get everything.
exactly. They also train your locals or your workers on how to operate the machinery. They
Okay.
even have a spare part shop here in Ghana. You know, one reason why people agri-tech is not really sought after is that when you bring machinery, you are able to clear import duties and all that on machinery and bring them here in Ghana, and they break down or something. You would have to also import their parts because you won't get their parts here in Ghana. But then with TIAS, they have a spare parts shop that takes care of the machinery they are going to give you. And after all that, after you process the cassava into starch, they have ready markets in Japan, Malaysia, China, as I mentioned, ready to export for you. So you don't have to, you can't go like, oh, even if I am to go into cassava processing, after I'm able to process into starch, what next? How am I going to sell it? TIAS has that already planned.
Okay.
Yes.
So the Agritech West Africa exhibition is coming off from 19th March. That's on a Tuesday, and it ends on Thursday. That is 21st March 2024. So mark your calendars. If you want to go for that exhibition, you can make some inquiries. You just go to their social media handle, that's Agritech West Africa, get the contacts and then call them so that you can book a slot at the exhibition. Alright, so let's do the second story. The second story, these sources that have been, some revelations that have been made by some sources in the Ghana Cocoa Board. Now, they say that Ghana faces nearly 40% decline in cocoa production. That is for the 2023-2024 crop season. Why is this? They are saying that Ghana's cocoa production for the 2023-2024 season is projected to fall nearly 40% below the target of 820,000 metric tons. This is according to sources within the country's regulated by the Cocoa Board. The decline is attributed to adverse weather conditions, smuggling activities, the spread of swollen shoot disease, and other factors. The shortfall in production, now estimated at approximately 500,000 tons for the season, has exacerbated by factors beyond immediate human intervention, stated the sources. Now we know that there were reports that said that Ghana lost about 150,000 tons due to smuggling, and even the cocoa swollen shoot disease has also affected about 500,000 hectares of farmland that has made production to decrease. So this is not coming as a shock. It is expected that because of the smuggling, there is huge 150,000 tons, metric tons of cocoa smuggled, and then even the swollen shoot disease affecting 500,000 hectares. So we have, a lot of factors that are contributing to that. We have the adverse weather contributions. Now the weather is very hot. We can't predict when the rain is coming and all that. Yeah. So what does it mean for Ghana, and how is this going to affect us negatively?
Oh, it has affected us and will continue to affect us because for the 2024 season, MOFA estimated about 800,000 metric tons of cocoa to be produced.
Okay.
But then statistical companies actually mentioned that might be a bit far-fetched and that we should look around 500,000 metric tons. That is more plausible. But with everything that is happening, it doesn't come as a surprise. Some processing factories are actually halting production because there's no beans to produce, and this would affect Ghana in a lot of ways because currently we are the second largest. With this hit, we could even decline to third, fourth, fifth, who knows? And there are a lot of factors. There are some we can't control and there are some we can control, like the smuggling, for instance. We can control that. Most cocoa farmers are suffering. I believe I've mentioned here before that I was working for a cocoa company, and when we went to the villages, most cocoa farmers didn't even know what chocolates look
Chocolates
like.
look,
Or
yeah.
it's been, yeah, it should tell you something. How can I be a cocoa farmer and I don't even know what the cocoa I've been cultivating is used for? So I think if we right now they are looking at increasing the purchasing power, increasing the prices at which they purchase the bags to discourage people from smuggling. Because the main reason why people are smuggling the beans out of the country to be sold in other countries is because the prices are low.
Hello, yeah.
And also the swollen shoots virus.
And even
It's
now
been
the
very,
price
very-
is really spiking.
It-
You know, because of this.
Exactly.
Because it is short in supply, right?
Yeah.
So the demand, because of demand, I mean the price is going to increase.
A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated Valentine's Day, and do you know how much the smallest size of cocoa
How much?
bar was costing? It was 17 cedis.
Unlike first when you
Years
can even
back,
buy.
yes, 5 cedi or something. Now
Yeah.
it's 17 cedi, and that's the
The,
smallest.
the price is
So
is
how
very
much
high.
would a box cost
Mm.
if the smallest packet of a cocoa bar chocolate is 17 cedis? And how much would the box cost? How many people
We need to
will be
save
able
our
to
sector.
afford
We
it?
need to save the
Exactly. So
sector.
it's putting a lot of pressure on the cocoa processing
Yeah.
companies, because you also have to hike their prices to be able to balance the cost in production. Also, as I mentioned, the swollen shoots virus has been affecting our cocoa for years now,
Yeah.
and right now it's like it's increasing in numbers. The smuggling is also another issue. If I'm a cocoa farmer and when climate crisis is also, weather pattern is also not favorable. The weather pattern has actually caused me to lose a lot of yields. I didn't get my expected yields. Swollen shoot virus has also affected half of my cocoa
Yeah.
crops. And you are selling the bag for maybe 600, 700 cedis, and I hear that another country is offering 800 or 1,000 per bag. I would go there because I've already lost. So I would go there to sort of make up for my losses.
Okay.
So that is what is happening. After the reports, after he met the CEO of Cocoa Board, Honorable Joseph Boahen Edu, met the Public Accounts Committee last week. I think they've pushed about 110 million Ghana cedis into the sector
they're going to
to
rehabilitate
compensate the farmers
Yes,
who were
compensate them and all that.
affected, and to also rehabilitate to grow more trees and all that. Research is the way. As I mentioned, there are some issues mentioned here that we can solve, like the swollen shoots virus. Finding a pesticide or something for one that can cure it.
Yeah.
Researching into it, paying for researchers to go to other countries, paying for researchers to come into the country to examine the factors, soil scientists to take hold, pushing them to research. Maybe if there are new variations, we can
that are
look
even
that
resistant
to our
the
weather,
solution,
climate, and to the swollen shoot disease. We should do that.
The problem has to do with investment.
Exactly.
I mean, we need to invest hugely.
Exactly.
into
Technology should also go into this. It's been long since our cocoa farmers, like the traditional way of harvesting cocoa is far. We are in the 21st century. The whole plucking and breaking cocoa pods and drying. Now there are machines for this. China has started cocoa production. I'm not sure in China they'll be cutting the pods and drying with their hands and all that. They'll have machines to do this, and maybe if it takes a week for the pods to dry, the beans to dry fully, they could shorten it to maybe a day or 3 days because of their machines. And when that happens, and in a second you're better maybe 10th or 100th position. Yes, we need to step up. And I think the investment or the money he has pushed in the sector, I hope it goes to the farmers as promised, because some of these things happen. They mentioned that it's going to farmers. It doesn't go. So we hope it happens. They plant more trees. I also heard they are doing this. They are also going to cultivate plantains to help. So yeah, sort of a mixed cropping thing to help and all that. So
that should be the way forward.
Yeah.
We need to recover.
We need to recover. This is too much, and then maybe perhaps that 500,000 metric tons will be able to meet, because at this rate and with what is happening. For the past few weeks, Ghana's cocoa sector has been in the news back to back to back. The pressure on them is
It's very
serious.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so Mr. Edu, I mean, should step up with other board members and then make the cocoa sector more lucrative.
Yeah, due
with
to
that.
this reason, a lot of public committee members are actually calling for his head and asking him to resign, because I think over years we've not had such a blow until he
I
came
mean,
into power.
it is part
So,
of the system.
exactly.
I mean, this crisis is expected,
Yeah.
but just that we need to have been more proactive.
Exactly,
to solve
because
the
I
issue.
think Ivory Coast late last year mentioned that there will be a decline in their cocoa. They foresaw that weather pattern is going to cause major issues in the school.
Okay.
Yeah, so they mentioned that there will be a decline. So I'm sure with this decline, they put in measures to make sure that even if it's declining, they are going to bounce back, or it's not going to, like, it will be at a,
At a level
because
that
they
is
still
very
hold their
okay.
they still hold
The
their
tax
fair.
is still there.
Exactly. So I think it's the weather thing is a global issue. This has resulted, we are the second largest. It has resulted in global high prices of cocoa
Yeah,
and all
everywhere.
that. But then, as you mentioned, we should be proactive and find solutions to these problems. Yeah.
All right. So the next issue we'll tackle is that this is not only affecting the farmers, it's really affecting the cocoa producers, the chocolate producers.
Yeah.
Now, when you read the story, getting to the latter part, the last part of the story, it says that member firms are restructuring operations to adapt to a challenging environment. Downsizing and reassignment of staff have become prevalent strategies among industry players. So now, when you go to some of the cocoa chocolate producing companies, now what they are doing is that if we have about 5,000 staff or 1,000 staff, because of what is happening in the
Yeah.
environment, now we have to downsize
The
size it and
the
then to
cocoa-
maybe 5,000 to maybe 2,000 or to maybe 500, because the cocoa prices are high and we are still having the staff, we need to pay them and all that.
exactly.
cost of production.
So this thing spans as a whole, as
It's going to
a
affect the
network.
economy big time.
Exactly. I think we discussed this on the Agro Riches podcast show when the letter came out, the letter from one
Afrotropic.
Afrotropic
Yeah.
to them asking permission to
I mean, they said that was
import
false.
cocoa.
Yeah.
They didn't say the letter was false. What they mentioned was false was people saying we have cocoa, why are
The-
we importing
the
and all
claims,
that.
yeah.
Yes, they came to debunk that in Ghana it's actually allowed. Our laws allow for cocoa processing companies to import
Imports,
cocoa.
yeah.
And then I remember mentioning that I called the reason they gave bollocks. I didn't buy it because the letter from Public Affairs Ghana Cocoa Board to the general public was that Ghana's cocoa is premium cocoa, and to cut down cost and to meet certain recipes, cocoa processing companies outsource and import less premium
Our cocoa is the best though.
Yes,
We have
that is
premium
true.
cocoa. Yeah,
No
the quality
doubt.
is very high.
The quality is high, but he's saying the reason why they were important was to cut down costs and to get some recipes. They import less premium cocoa to blend for the blend. I called the bullets because I was like, sources were claiming, someone wrote a letter to the show telling us that there are no cocoa beans. That was before the cocoa beans story came up. There's a shortage of cocoa beans, and cocoa processing factories are not getting beans to process anymore. That is why they're importing. I mean, look at the import, the tax duties on imported goods and all that. If my country is producing premium cocoa, as a chocolate manufacturer, as a cocoa production company, why would I source less premium cocoa to blend? Why would I do that?
I mean,
They all boast of using
yeah.
the best of the best cocoa, so we knew that was not the reason. Right now, the secret is finally out of the bag. We are losing cocoa beans. Our cocoa is declining. That is why what is happening is happening.
Yeah, you could have gone more and more into the story, but time is up. It is 10 a.m. So wherever you are watching us from, this is still Agro Riches TV. This is the breakfast show where we review all the major stories making headlines in the agriculture sector. This morning we've looked at two stories. Ghana is set to host the third edition of the Agritech West Africa Expo 2024 at the Accra International Conference Center, and the aim is to spur agricultural innovation. The second story is cocoa sector. We are still in the cocoa crisis, and Ghana faces nearly 40% decline in the 2023-2024 cocoa output. This is being reviewed by some sources within the country's cocoa regulatory body. So, Nanama, thank you so much for being with me this morning to serve the good people of Ghana with the stories making headlines
Thank you
in
so
the agriculture
much
sector.
for
And
having me.
I hope to see you next week again, Monday.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I would want to greet all your lovely viewers as well and tell them to tune in this and every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to the Agro Riches podcast on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, we go live to discuss very, very valuable insights and topical issues in agriculture.
And I mean,
So please don't forget
this Wednesday is going to be so amazing and fun. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Yeah, don't miss it. This Wednesday at 2 p.m. Yeah, Agro Riches podcast will be live. And tomorrow also expect the Agri News in brief to be aired at 12 p.m. So at 12 p.m. you can log on to the Agro Riches YouTube channel and then watch our Agri News in brief. We'll also bring you all the major stories that's making headlines in the agricultural sector. So this show is proudly sponsored by Tias Group and KAIST. Once again, if you want to own an agro-processing factory, call Tias Group on 020-475-8888. The interesting thing about the Tias project is that it's a full turnkey project. You get technical support, you get financial support, and also you get off-take support. So you don't need to hassle or to mind or to even worry of a ready market. I mean, the market is short for you. We have a ready market of 600,000 tons of cassava starch annually to be exported to China. So make use of that opportunity. My name is Prince Opoku Dogbe, and thank you so much for being with us in this 30 minutes on the Agri News Review on Agro Riches TV. We'll meet same time next week Monday. For now, bye-bye.
Welcome to the Tias office. Come on in and let's embark on an exciting journey together. We are excited to develop the West African sub-region's agricultural sector with three key amazing services: the financial support, technical support, and off-take support. Join us as we showcase our diverse teams, share our values of network, and give you a sneak peek into the exciting projects we are working on.